What's up, everybody? Big Herc 916 getting down fresh out. You know how we do it over here. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the channel, go to the website and subscribe, represent. I'm here with my man Bryan. Bryan, tell the people who you are, man.
Yeah, hey, Bryan Buckley, served in the military for 9 years. I was fortunate enough to be in special operations, and now I'm out working with a nonprofit to help out veterans who are suffering with post-traumatic stress and get them back up to go live the American dream, and also have a cannabis company where we donate 100% of profits back to that nonprofit. So we're real excited to be here, my man.
And we will have the link in the description. You got to support, man, because I've said it before and I'll say it again. Every veteran should be a goddamn millionaire. They serve this country, and we got all the politicians, they're all millionaires. What's the problem? Anyways, I'm here with Bryan. I'm getting kind of pumped up here. And we were talking about the Israeli Hamas conflict, because it's not necessarily Palestine. The Palestinian people blend both of them, and there's a distinction. And this man is well-rounded. He knows about a lot of this stuff because he's been around the world and knows how belief systems are different. How they play over here in America, they don't play over there. You guys who are sometimes, I'm not gonna say who, but you guys, sometimes how you go about depicting people and thinking it's funny and cute and free speech, over there you'd be dead. Yeah. Bryan, man, let these people know, man, how serious it is and how there's no ending to a lot of this conflict that we try to put our nose in over there.
Yeah, I mean, really it all kind of stems back to when the Prophet Muhammad died, and where you really had the Sunnis and Shias kind of go. And, you know, you can kind of look at like a situation like Iraq, where, you know, Iraq, I think, really came into existence like post-World War I. And, you know, you can throw us in there, and Americans and Europe's, when we kind of created Iraq. I mean, you literally put three hostile groups of people in the same country together and said, make it work, which I hate to be that guy. Maybe only a dictator can make that kind of area work, you know, type of thing. So you have the Sunnis and Shias who hate each other, and you got the Kurds who just don't like either of them as well. And again, there's not going to be some summit where you're going to bring this together and they're going to have a peaceful agreement of like who should run the Islamic religion post the death of the Prophet. And, you know, I think what I find interesting about what's going on with Hamas and Israel is Hamas is a terrorist group. I mean, they're funded by Iran. You got to, again, look at the geopolitics of what was going on. You had these things called the Abraham Accords, where they were kind of normalizing Arab and Israeli relationships, where some countries jumped on. Obviously, Saudi Arabia, very big Sunni nation. Iran, very big Shia nation. Just got done a civil war pretty much, or a proxy war in Yemen, where they both were fighting each other. But the Israelis were about to do more normalization with the Saudi government, and next thing you know, this Hamas thing breaks loose. You know, Iran right now is heavily flushed with cash. I know when the previous administration left, they were about at $4 billion in reserves. Now they're sitting around about $70 billion in reserves because they were able to sell fuel. Because we don't sell fuel here or create our own fuel because we're killing the environment, which I would challenge anyone to find a non-government study to show that there is actually man-made pollution, but that's just me being there, because not like the government doesn't want more money to become circular, where they give out these grants to do these things, say, oh my God, climate change, and then they can bring more money into their projects, but that's just me.
Not to cut you off,
Yeah.
but going back to Trump, didn't Trump just say that when I was in office, they didn't have all that oil? They sold like, what is it, 60 billion worth of oil? Mm-hmm. He said, but now they got this oil money because they let the sanctions go off them.
Yep.
And he had them under a stranglehold.
Yeah, they were done. And I mean, again, when you killed General Suleiman, I mean, they just knew not to fuck around. Everyone's like, oh, they murdered al-Assad in Iraq. I feel bad for people who are in al-Assad on the base, but that was like another day in Iraq for us. I mean, it's a mortar shot. Okay, no big, like, it can be a big deal, but give me a break overall what was happening. But I think, too, you guys, like, people get very mixed up where Hamas and Palestine. Listen, Hamas would kill Palestine leadership. Like, they don't care. I mean, this is a no-shit terrorist group. Now, I think, you know, you brought up a great point earlier where you talk about, like, people try to see things black and white. You can't look at the world in black and white and, like, are these good guys and are these bad guys? Everyone has their pros and everyone has their cons, and I'm not saying terrorists have any pros to them. But there's nothing that simple. But I look at, do the Israelis have a right to be where they are? Sure. You go all the way back in biblical times, like 3,000 years ago, there were Jews in Israel. I mean, King David, who named the place Judea and then called Jerusalem the capital. I mean, this has been going on. People, they have a right to that land. every time, in my opinion, the Israelis tried to appease and make peace and give up the Gaza or give up something like this. I mean, I got friends who were in the IDF, and when they had to give up Gaza, that really fucked a lot of them up because they had to rip out family members. They weren't putting any settlements out there. They were pulling all the people out there. Will they do that? And then now look what's happened. They have tunnels going underneath, all this shit, people coming in, getting kidnapped. And then I even look at, too, where you look at what the region is doing. You know, Egypt won't take any refugees. Well, why the fuck not? But we got to take them?
That's what I was going to say that.
Take care of your neighborhood,
They got
man.
the border locked down. They're like, Egypt could save a bunch of people from the Gaza. It's like, no.
They don't want to. Why? You got to ask that question.
Like, so what's up with that?
Yeah.
And also, I was listening to something else, right, that Hamas came about to counter the PLO.
Yes.
So Ayatollah Khomeini.
Yeah.
So now, who funded Hamas initially, and then they got out of control? I mean,
yeah.
Is that, no, what's the truth to that?
I mean, that's right. I look at that, and I also look at who started funding the Taliban when they first came up to be. Was it maybe people in Pakistan? I don't know. But I'm just saying, sometimes people fund things, and they become their own powerful thing and spin out of control.
See, the conversation is not just surface level, man, because I was listening to that, and then I was listening to something else, and I don't know how truth it was, but Putin was talking about how they were, like you said, working on the peace accords, but then somehow the West didn't want to agree to part of it, so therefore it kind of disrupted the talks, and then it created all this tension. So initially, like, they were going to give up part of some land, and there was kind of like a mutual agreement, but somebody didn't want to come to the table. I can't remember the details, but there's so much stuff out there, because when I heard the thing about the PLO and then Hamas could have been funded partially by Israel to kind of counter them, and then it got out of control, then a leadership change, and then all this other stuff. I mean, how deep did this go? Because, you know, on the news, everybody's like, oh man, this and that, and they hear all this stuff. And then, you know, just yesterday, or day before yesterday, they tried to say, oh, Israel, there was an airstrike, and then found out that the Hamas had a missile and it blew up in the parking lot.
Yeah, they had a short range, a short round. I mean, that's where, again, like, I love what Elon Musk did, where he took away the verification mark from the New York Times, because he's like, we can't trust your media because you guys push out propaganda.
See what I'm saying?
I mean, it's not, you know, the media used to be about, let's make sure we get this right. If we got to wait 24 hours to do a little more investigation, let's wait 24 hours. Now it's about who can get out first. And it's about who cares what we're putting out there. And it was total bullshit. I mean, I don't know how much more information. You literally have the two guys from Hamas talking on the radio like, oh man, we shot a short round. Like, yeah, what did it hit? I think it hit that hospital. I mean, you could say it was AI or whatever. I think they just had a bad night and they shot a thing.
Shit happens.
And they fucking hit a hospital, and everyone's very quick to jump on and say it was the Israelis. This is where I get frustrated with people, and I have to understand just war lawfare. You know, and a really good case of this happened in the push in Iraq in 2003. Saddam was taking anti-aircraft weapons and putting them on top of schools and putting them on top of hospitals. And they were getting targeted by us, and we were taking them down. Now, we will fly lower. We'll put ourselves at higher risk to lower collateral damage. We'll put our own troops in higher risk to make sure we get it right. But you, if you're that leader and you decide to put a military target on top of a school or hospital, you own it. You made that into a military target. You want to use women and children as human shields? You own that. You made that into a military target, and you're using civilian life to defend it. That goes against all just warfare conflict, that you would be held guilty for that. You can't hold the other side guilty that if you're using what should be peaceful, let's keep our hands off type of things, if you're using it as a military objective and using that for your own advancement, and you made it into a military target, you own that.
What do you think America's diplomacy should be for that, as far as the whole Middle East and the conflict going on? I mean, dude, right now we got borders that are out of control. You got people talking about their refugees, asylum seekers, and I see dudes with tattoos on their faces. They look like goddamn gangsters that have been released from prison, running around here. We don't know. These guys are getting cell phones. They're getting their rent paid. I mean, dude, they're getting medical. We're dealing with fentanyl. We're dealing with homelessness. You know, we have so much shit here, but we're still funding everybody else. What do you think our policy should be right now dealing with shit going on?
I think, you know, and I don't want to sound like isolationist here. Like, I do believe the world needs a strong America, and it kind of do need that superpower to kind of keep everyone in check and just say, hey, play nice and do things. And listen, there's never going to be 100% peace on earth. But to help other people, you need to help yourself first. And you got to say to me, if you do not look at our country from a holistic approach and that we're not a fucking joke right now, Like you brought up, like we're sending over a vice president to go teach another continent about LGBTQ plus whatever initiatives. Where they're like, what? We just want to fucking take a shower. We'll go fine if you're gay, you're gay. Like, go,
who
okay,
cares?
Who cares? You know.
Who cares?
And I think we need to fix things here badly first. I do think United States of America is the biggest corporation in the world, and you probably need a business person running it and doing it that way. And then when we're strong and we're not fucking around and we're holding people accountable, it's pretty amazing how people get into line. I mean, it's not like anything like we're going to get invaded by China or anything like that. I mean, we're going to see what happens with Taiwan, but we're a huge consumer base. People need America. I mean, China needs us. They feed off of us because we buy their shit. But I think we need to get a new administration in. We got to lock down and get America kind of back on track where we're not fighting each other. You do not destroy America head on. You divide us. And we have been divided very well by the Chinese and other countries. But we need to come together, get our shit together, get our policies together, make it common sense, defend our own borders, make sure that we're not having to suffer, we're killing ourselves or destroying our cities or whatever. And then you go around and you kind of get people you have more influence on what they should and should not do. Are we ever going to solve the Middle East? No. Was I blown away by the Abraham Accords? Absolutely. I didn't think there was a snowball chance in hell, but the previous administration said, fuck it, Palestinians don't want to play. Cut them out. We'll deal with the other Arab nations. And they're going to come along because eventually they're so strong and Palestine's going to need them as well. They'll come to the table. And that's what was happening. And then we went back to the norm of let's just have chaos. And all this shit's happening. And this is not by coincidence. I'm telling you, it's a direct reflection of what's happening in our world right now. It's a direct reflection on our leadership.
I totally agree. And I see it as another shifting the narrative when we're talking about our 2024 election, which is like really a big thing. You know, I mean, of course, the world's not going to end. People are going to they're going to still make money. People are still going to, you know, be doing their thing. But there's a lot going on internally within our country as far as the politics. And when you talk about like, you notice, okay, let's go back. What was it, about 6 months? They tried the pandemic thing again. People are like, oh no! Oh shit!
Only in America. Europe was cool, but America,
cool.
like,
Okay.
oh, we're fucked.
We're cool. So they said, okay, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing hard with Ukraine. People are like, okay, we're tired of this shit.
Yep.
Then, okay, we're flooding the borders. Elon went down there. We're tired. We can't do this one.
Yeah.
Let's try this.
We gotta find
it's
new
like,
boo.
dude, they keep trying.
Yeah.
It's like literally, it's like a video game, and when you get past the next level, there's a new monster comes out the mountain.
Come out. Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, you think we're that stupid?
And you know, it's also frustrating to me too. It's like, again, it's not. I'm not trying to rain on Democrats. It just happens that a Democratic president's there. But I mean, even look at some of the moronic stuff like the Republicans are doing. Like when they fired the Speaker of the House, first time in history. They can't find another speaker now.
Dude.
Like, I mean, again, it's like you guys are fucking shit up now again, where for 2 weeks we're sitting here bitching and moaning about votes and all that stuff.
But this
it's like,
is my thing even
you guys
about
don't
that,
think
right?
things ahead.
This is my thing about that whole thing, right? Okay, Republicans, Democrats, because people said, oh, Big Herc, you're far right, left. Look, man, you don't know what the hell I am.
Yeah.
You don't know me, shut the hell up. Shut the F up. But at the end of the day, man, they're talking too. And all they're doing is talking.
Yep.
You see this guy literally, you guys had indicted this Trump dude almost three times. Mm-hmm. Nothing's happened. So you Republicans are full of shit.
Yep.
They do nothing but talking. You let the Democrats, this guy could not even run a damn term without having to deal with bullshit, and then the racial shit, and then all this other shit. But this dude literally, I don't mean, it sounds like sometimes, I don't know if dude pooped himself or whatever, and nobody's saying nothing about it.
He shit himself in front of the Pope. You can't talk about that, but he literally shit himself.
But remember,
in
how
the
many
Vatican.
times did they give Donald Trump competency tests because he eats McDonald's?
Yeah.
It's like, and the people like still, oh man, and I'm like, I can't believe it, bro. It just blows my mind. So Republicans, you guys have no balls.
No, they don't. They
no balls,
have
bro.
No balls.
You ain't did shit yet. This dude, he's at the end of his term, and you guys ain't did shit but talk.
Nope.
We got more evidence, and whoop-de-whoop, we're gonna, and it's like, really? So you guys are both, obviously you don't want something to come out because you probably got to pay out too. So if he goes down, you go down.
They're all on the same team.
All on the same team.
They're all on the same team. That's why I say I like the outsider. And again, like we said before,
we need a third party, bro.
They fucked this up so bad, they created Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That is 100% what happened.
Yeah.
If they would have done their thing and just not got so greedy or whatever, we probably wouldn't have woken up to it. and business would have been as usual.
And,
but
and
you
it
did
backfired
it.
with COVID.
Yeah.
Because like you said, when you sat at home and you start really looking like you're not at the office no more, and you're not talking with all your buddies, you're like, this shit don't add up, man. You know, people woke up.
And
So-
like it went so drastic of like when you disagreed, like who cares? You're a critical thinker. Like, why can we not? Like, I loved what Jon Stewart said. He's like, like when he brought up, he's like, I think it came from the lab, and people were like, oh my God, you're working with the Republicans. He goes, no, okay, fine. Chocolatey goodness broke out in central Pennsylvania in Hershey.
Yeah.
Was it from a steam pipe and a cocoa bean made love, or was it from the fucking chocolate factory right there? It's like, just have some common sense.
that's
but
all it is.
when they start coming down and you're like, oh, you're conspiracy theorists, like, well, wait a minute, you're getting really aggressive about me just questioning something that I think is kind of logical to ask. There's something up here.
Well, but when did it become wrong to question somebody, Brian?
And that's what
You know
our
what I
job
mean?
is as
Dude,
Americans,
you're
right?
white, I'm black.
Yeah.
You say something, oh, Brian, you're a racist.
Yep.
Ooh, you're a bigot.
And then where you go from there, you're like, oh, okay, like I'm great.
Big Herc, you got the Trump, you got American flag.
Yep.
What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You can wear the UK the other flag, but if I got American, I'm not. What the hell does that mean?
Exactly.
Dude, it's so crazy right now. Like I said, literally, it's created this whole divide, and my whole thing is bringing the conversation back to the table. I don't care if you wear pink underwear, G-string, you like whatever. If we talk, you don't have to tell me. I don't need to know about that. But let's just talk about some real shit.
Yeah.
We can have a sensible conversation. We can come to our senses. It doesn't have to be based on sexuality or who you voted for. But we're talking about living in a good place where it's safe, having a great community. Hey, man, that's what it's here for.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it.
100%.
That's it. It doesn't need to be anything else. Keep the kids safe. Can the kid not turn 18 without having to see porn? Without not having to worry about whether or not, can we just have some type of protections? That's it.
Well, they can't comprehend it. That's why we moved our kids into a private school. And it's not like a haughty-taughty private school, but there was weird stuff where they were in public school, and I'm like, hey, can I come into the classroom and see what's going on with my kid? They're like, well, why do you want to come to the classroom? I'm like, well, now I definitely want to come in. I'm like, what the hell are you teaching my kid? And we're like, well, they're our kids. And fuck off. They're my kids. And we got them to a school. And I asked them straight up, I'm like, where are you with all this stuff that's going on? They're like, Brian, we don't care what's being said in the media. We don't care who's in the Oval Office. We're going to teach our kids math, science. They're going to have music. They're going to go to gym class, and they're going to and we're going to teach them gun safety because kids end up playing with guns. And I'm like, that's amazing. When they're older, they can think about this stuff, but you see some of the things where they're doing where they're segregating kids based on color of their skin and doing all this. Like, is Martin Luther King really happy with what's going on with America on this side? I mean, we're having segregated graduation ceremonies, segregated dorms. I mean, it's like ridiculous.
Brian, I was listening to Bob Woodson. Bob Woodson was born in 1937. OG. Very, man, he should be on more platforms, but, because of the narrative, they don't want him talking. He was saying back 100 years, he was talking about after segregation, the black communities were safer than they are now.
Yeah.
He was also saying that for 50 years or 30 years, these black communities that have been ran by black politicians, none of those schools could even pass the competency test. Black schools, Baltimore, a couple in D.C., and they're being ran by black board members and politicians. Dude, what the hell? We need to stop making excuses and stop blaming each other and take accountability.
Yeah.
Dude, there's no excuse, man. There's a lot of shit going on, and we could go on, and man, I can get even deeper, but it's like at the end of the day, dude, look, I don't care what color your skin is. You got my back. I got your back.
That's all.
You want a good family? I want a good family. You want to be successful? I want to be successful. You want to drive nice cars, travel? I want to do the same thing. Cool. If you want to sit back and smoke a beer, whatever, dude, I'm not. We have different viewpoints. That's cool.
Yep.
No pun intended. But my people is people who have the same integrity, goals, interests, and visions I have.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're purple. I don't care if you're green. Dude, if you want to get out, we can get out.
If you're a good person, that's all I care about. That's all it is.
And that's what America was about, that they're trying to break up now, because it didn't matter if you were Indian, you're Hinduism, you're a Christian, you're a Muslim. It didn't matter. If you guys in the community all protected the community, you all work together.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it. That's all it is. And we're, again, people are trying to divide us, and you guys take a step back and say, why are they trying to do that?
That's right.
And again, it's all about the money, all about the power and control.
There you have it. Big Kirk 916 getting out my man Bryan, keeping it raw, fresh out. You tired of smelling like stanky butt, funky armpits? Wash your ass. Go to FreshOutSeries.com and pick you up a bar of soap.